Hi, my name is Cindy, and it is time for What Would You Make? If you have been here before, thanks for returning. If you're new, welcome to Z9 Designs. Please subscribe and keep watching for the transformation of wood pieces. So let's get started. I have some thrifted pieces from the Goodwill, another piece from someone's trash, and wood pieces gifted by a friend at the workplace. And that pretty much sums it up. DIY number 1, phone holder to flower and picture holder flip. This piece of wood was rescued from the trash, and since it is Earth Month, you will see the transformation. And I'm trying to help the planet out. The supplies needed include a wood phone holder, black acrylic paint, glass tube, part of a wire picture holder, and E6000. Now, it took me a minute to figure out what I was going to do with this solid wood phone holder, and I'm assuming that's what it is. I started out by painting it black, but this can be painted any color, and as time goes on, I might decide to paint it a different color. Since it had a round opening at the top, and I have no idea what the round opening is for, but I scooped out more of the wood to fit the glass tube, so it would fit pretty much straight. On the side, I placed a gold picture frame that I removed from a round picture hanger. I put the glass tube into the round opening and put a nice quote into the picture frame. Now, in order to put the picture frame into the wood, I just used E6000 to make sure that was secure. And a little indentation there so it would fit and not be wobbly. And this can be placed on a desk or anywhere in your home. Now, What Would You Make is a collaboration that is wood-based. So we had to make whatever we could, but it had to be made out of wood. The hosts for this collaboration are Connie's Workshop and DIYs and Rustic and Lace DIYs. The guest host is Amy Creatively Expressive. You really need to check out their DIYs and see what they're making. They are awesome women, and the links to their channels are listed in the description box below. Also, there are other collaborators that have made items that I'm sure you will enjoy watching. The link to the playlist is in the description box below. So let's continue on to the next wood project. DIY number 2, Decopage wood paint brushes. The supplies needed include 2 wood-handled paint brushes, 2 different types of napkins, Mod Podge, and white chalk paint. Now, it is always nice to have some cool paint brushes, and I use these paint brushes, so I didn't go out and buy any, that I use to touch up some areas in my home. So when I found them in my stash, I knew what I wanted to do with them, and I decided to jazz them up. So you might see me in future DIYs using these fancy paint brushes. First, I needed to determine which napkin would look best. I painted the handles with white chalk paint and just let them dry. And then I cut the napkin in the shape of the handle. And the reason why you want to do this is because if you wrap the whole napkin around there, you're going to have a whole lot of wrinkles. I did not want that. Also, I took 2 pieces of tape and I removed 2 plies from the napkins. I spread Mod Podge on the handle, and then I place the napkin on there. And on the first one, I found a turquoise napkin with flowers and butterflies. And so I put that on the first one. It looks fabulous. Now, probably wondering where I got this idea from. Well, I have a Green Craft magazine, and Kim Colister, she made old paintbrushes new again, and she just decoupaged the handles with paper scraps that she had. I topped the handle off with a coat of Mod Podge, and I think it turned out really beautiful. The process for the next paintbrush followed the same process. The only difference is I use another type of napkin. This napkin had lavender flowers and green leaves, and I like this one also. I think it just looks really cool. Let me know what you think about this one. DIY number 3, Queen Bee Modern Wood Riser. I think wood risers are so cool. You see them all over the place. There's some farmhouse, there's some antique looking, but I wanted to make one that was a little bit modern. The supplies needed include 1 piece of wood 7 by 5, 2 pieces of wood 6.5 by 3 inch, wood glue, crown and bee stencil, acrylic brown paint, and then some acrylic white paint, and a stipple paintbrush. I was given a box of wood pieces and found a piece that was 7 by 5 and 2 pieces 6.5 by 3. I glued the 2 smaller pieces on top of one another, and then I glued them to the top of the riser. That is the largest piece. And then I let them dry. And later I began to paint them. And I use real brown acrylic paint. And so I put it on there, and while it was a little wet, I wiped a little bit of it off as I went along. Once it was dry, I got out my Queen Bee stencil. I put it over the wood, and then I used some white chalk paint to stipple over the crown and the words Queen Bee. I thought it needed a little something around the edges, so I stenciled a bee and a flower and some dripping honey. Now it was ready for the Mod Podge, and when the stencil was dry, I put a coat of Mod Podge on top, and it is ready to use. I put my most frequent cooking oils and agave on top, and it is ready to use. And this can be used elsewhere in the home with a different stencil, maybe just flowers around it. But I think it is so nice, and it looks so good in my house, in my kitchen. So on to DIY number 4. This is a gold box with a bird. Now, supplies needed include a Thrifted box from Goodwill, wrapping paper with a bird. This was given to me, reptile adhesive, white acrylic paint, gold acrylic paint, Mod Podge, and gold leaf. I thrifted this box from a Goodwill. It looked like it may have been a trinket box from Germany. I was given some beautiful wrapping paper from a friend, and the birds on top were just simply beautiful. The top of the box was painted white, and the sides were painted gold. Then I cut a piece of wrapping paper to fit the top of the box. However, I made sure that the bird was highlighted. And later I put some gold leaf around the sides. And then I put some antique wax on the top. And this made it look a little vintage. I left the inside raw wood, but maybe we'll paint it later. I use it to house some coasters, but you can house any kind of trinket that you would like to put inside. What would you put inside this box? If you have liked what you've seen, please subscribe to my channel and join in the fun. Follow me on social media, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok for now. Thanks for watching. I appreciate all of you. And remember, joy in looking and comprehending is nature's most beautiful gift. This is by Albert Einstein. Well, you take care. Have a wonderful time this week. See you later. Bye-bye.